What's up, Raiders? Bionic here. Welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, patch 2.20 is live. At first glance, it looks amazing. This new forge looks pretty awesome. So what I want to do is go over the details, but more importantly, warn you guys, okay? So I'm going to try and keep this as positive as possible. There are already a couple hiccups that you guys should be aware of as you dive into this new patch, this new content, things we've been waiting for a relatively long time, right? So we still don't have the Doom Tower, even though we have this new sort of like tab in here, right? I am really eager to see when we're going to get that, but at least it's somewhat in game right now. It gives us something to hope for the next couple of weeks. Then we also got the forge, right, which is relatively straightforward, but we are going to go over this a little bit, sort of explain to you guys what's going on, so that again you guys will be really careful with these resources. Okay, so that's a big concern here, is that you might be tempted to spend these right now. Don't. Okay, I think you should not. I think you should really wait for this. And finally, we are going to go over these advanced quests. There are already a couple in there that I've seen that are problematic. Okay, so you're going to have to start to understand what is possible and to hoard your resources in order to do this once again, okay? But before we dive into all that, let's first go over this new champion, because apparently there's this guy hiding right here called Saito. Looks pretty badass. Two swords on fire. I mean, the overall sort of art for this guy is quite different. We've never really seen this before, so I'm happy that this is not a recycled model. But looking at his skills, we have decreased defense on the A1. That's always nice. Only has a 60% chance of applying and has a chance of placing extra hit if that debuff is placed. Okay, so this can potentially be useful for the clan boss, especially that it's on the A1 with counter attack. Then we have this skill right here, attacks one enemy, but before attacking, will place 50% increased attack and 30% increased damage on this champion for two turns if this champion's defense is higher than the target's defense. So this is a little bit hard to work with because this is an attack-based champion and you're going to need to have a lot of defense on him. So what exactly is the purpose of this skill? Maybe this guy is meant to be sort of like another nuker killer, right, where they're going to have lower defense overall. He is starting with a decent amount himself. So it is going to be important to stack literally everything on this guy, right? You're going to want some offensive stats, but you're also going to want some defensive stats, especially defense. And then it says here to decrease the cooldown of this skill by 1 turn if the target has more than 50% HP after the attack. So this can be reduced a 3-turn cooldown. Then you have the possibility of reducing the cooldown on top of that. So I don't know, sort of like maybe snowball to some extent, but like I'm not exactly sure how good this is going to be. Then we have attack one enemy, then attacks all enemies except the initial target if there are 3 or more enemies alive. Okay, so this is sort of like his opener, his somewhat AoE nuke. Inflicts 20% more damage on the first hit if the target has higher max HP than this champion. So this is more like of a tank killer skill, I guess, maybe in a sense. Again, I'm not entirely sure how this guy is going to fit in, right? We also have ignore 7.5% of enemy defense for each time this champion attacks the same target enemy in consecutive attacks or turns. Stacks up to 30%. The stack will be lost and reset if this champion targets and attacks a different enemy. Okay, so I'm really eager to see what the players or the community is going to come up with for this guy in terms of build. But still, in case you guys haven't seen him in the Undead factions, a new legendary champion. I already saw some screenshots of this guy being pulled from shards, so he is in the pool. You can get him. Let me know if one of you guys does get him, and I'd love to maybe make some content on that champion. Okay, next up, these advanced quests. So complete all available advanced quests. This is my #1 problem already, is that I spent my Faction Wars keys yesterday, and today I can only get 6 more. Therefore, I can't even complete all of these quests because I have to use 12 crypt keys in Faction Wars. So problem #1. I wish this would have been a little bit clearer. Maybe they should have given us some extra Faction Wars keys right off the bat. And also, we have, what is it? I think somewhere down here, survive 20 turns against the Demon Lord. Should be doable, but pay attention. If you can't do that on your typical best difficulty, you might want to do a lower difficulty for you to hit this, right? It's not giving you a lot. 25k silver is nothing. It's not worth it, but keep in mind that this is what you're really after. So me for today, I already will be behind by 1 point of the available 10 points that I can get today. And that's a little bit annoying. If this keeps up so that every day there's something you can't do or that you decide not to do, you will be behind. You will not get that legendary skill tomes in 25 days. You will get it in 30 days, 35 days, okay? So that changes your perception a little bit of how good this is over time. Also, we have one right here, fight in Classic Arena with a team of 4 different affinities. Shouldn't be too much of a problem, but it might be out of your norm for your typical team, so you'll have to keep that into consideration. Mix 1 affinity potion is pretty easy. Next one that I don't like right here, craft 1 resilience artifact at the forge. Okay, that's going to bring us to the forge, and this is the resilience artifact. I should be able to craft this. I have the materials for it. 10k silver, not a problem. I should do this, right? For 5 gems? No, I'm not going to do it. Why? Because these resources here, or materials, are also used for the Swift Pari set, okay? So I have to spend some of these probably hard-earned resources crafting what I'm going to say is one of the sets that is not as good, just to get 5 gems and to get 1 more point towards my legendary skill tome. So what is more important, for you to progress a little bit faster to get that legendary skill tome, or for you to craft the actual better gear in the game? So again, I don't really like that part right now. And here's another one that I've seen already. I think Stu Gaming, so shout out for showing this one. Fight the Demon Lord with at least 1 rare champion on your team. If that is not something you typically do, this is going out of your way. For 25k silver, might not be worth it. You're not going to get your top chest. You might not get your top chest of Ultra Nightmare. Therefore, you might not get the best rewards. All of this for 1 extra point, advancing your quest in order to get the legendary tome. Because let's face it, this is what we're really after in the advanced quest, is this progression up here. So again, I like this. I like the extra rewards, but like this is somewhat forcing us to do a couple things that might actually not be beneficial to your account, is what I'm saying, okay? So yeah, this one I won't be able to do. Use 12 crypt keys in Faction Wars. I already used literally all 24 of my keys last night, unfortunately. Like I said, didn't know. Win 3 artifacts from clearing the dungeons. I just tried 2 dungeon runs. It kept crashing. So right now there are issues with the game. Don't do it, okay? Just wait until this is fixed. I wasted some energy already hoping that I would progress on this to get a sub-stat charm, okay? And that is the last thing we're going to go over here, these charms, and then the type charm. So that is back to the forge. How is this going to work? First of all, if you guys want a little bit more information how this works, you can click the information button up top. It is going to show you guys the basics so that you craft basically with these materials right here. And then crafting the artifacts will depend on if you pick rank 4 to 5 or rank 5 to 6. And then the charms, depending on which one you're going to use, rank charms, rarity charms, type charms, and substat charms are going to affect what you're going to roll. Okay, so at first, the initial picture that we had seen from the from the forge, the new sets, it had sort of like what looked like a glyph, and I was like, no way I'm going to be using my precious speed glyphs in order to craft some gear that might not actually be good. So I'm really happy to see that in fact these are all charms. Okay, so a little bit different than what we have seen on that teaser. I think this is a great thing, so I will point that out. The available sets, we've seen them. We have Resilience, Perception, Deflection, Swift Parry. So let's go over these little charms here, because I think they're going to be sort of the hard stuff to get, right? So rank charms is going to be this first slot right here, which is a little star. The second one is going to be rarity charm with like an upwards arrow. Then we're going to have the types charm, which will look a little bit different depending on if you're going for a weapon, a helmet, a shield. It's going to go in this slot right here. And then finally, we're going to have the substat charm, which is going to be different, a different one based on which substat you're going for, which is going to go in this slot. If you want to know how to get those, you can click on the little plus sign. It is going to tell you. This would be, let's say, from the events. Okay, the rank charms would be from the events. The rarity charms also from events. So we don't have any of those ongoing right now. Therefore, I don't think anybody can get them, right? You also have a little 0 beside, means you don't have any in stock. Then we have these right here. Weapon charm. We have advanced quests and events as well. Same thing here, advanced quests, events as well. So that is for all the types. Then we'd have same thing here for the boots. Okay, substat charms, we'd have, again, advanced quests and events. Okay, advanced quests and events. And then don't forget, you need the so-called materials. We are starting off with a couple of them, right? And as you can see, it requires a different amount depending on if you're going for 4 to 5 star or 5 to 6 star. And then you can get these from Classic Arena, okay, the Magi Steel, and then we'd have these right here, the Core Hammer, which is events. Then we'd have the Legendary Soul Stone, which is Faction Wars. And if you pick a different set, like Deflection, for instance, this changes. That means there are even more material to accumulate. Legendary Bloodstone, Faction Wars, again, if we check the Resilience, you see that it's a different combination of Epic Soulstone and Legendary Soulstone. And then the Perception set would be more of these Bloodstones, right? So we'd have the Epic version of Bloodstones, and then we'd have the Legendary Bloodstones. Pretty straightforward. So far, just looking at the Forge, I think it looks great. We still have no clue how quickly we'll be able to accumulate the resources, so do not be tempted to go all out and spend right now. I really think that the best set would be the Swift Pari set, especially for your nukers. Therefore, I'm going to wait until I'm able to craft this with the maximum amount of charms. I think that is going to be probably your best bet, but it'll be interesting to see if it's actually at some point not using charms is actually viable, depending on how quickly we get the material, okay? So, guys, that's basically it. We have the Forge, like I said, the advanced quests, which are a little bit of hit or miss, or things to be careful with, right? I think that's the big message here, and this new champion. So, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm really eager to have your feedback. Are you guys happy with this? Is this the new content you guys have been waiting for? Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys later.